Hi guys, sorry for a couple months without updating, but the bike finally runs. So I'm going to show you if you ever have your own free pit bike, how to get it running, or if you bought one. I know that there's not very many places on YouTube that show you how to do this. You look up or how to get your pit bike running and all this other stuff, but they actually do not show you. But in this video I'll show you. This is a 150cc. I don't know why you can see that. So first thing is you want to check if you got spark. Number one thing is if you got spark, it should run. So if you don't have spark, you check all your kill switches. You check your keys on, and if you still don't have spark, you start tracing your wires. With this one, it's sort of going to be hard unless you have a battery for electric start, but you probably don't want to spend the money on a battery until you hear the bike actually running. So you keep kicking it over. If you turn it all on, you just say turn the key off or on. Either way, you try and get it and see which way you can get spark. And if you got spark and still don't want to run, you can diagnose it. So you will need, for this sort of engine, you'll need to take this off here. You'll need to take the timing chain off, cover off. Just unscrew this. And in here, you keep spinning the engine over until you get a line in the middle. I kind of can't show you because I've put it all back together, but there should be 3 lines. You take this cover off and you keep spinning it over until you get 3 lines. There should be 1, 2, 3. You want the middle one to be in the middle of this hole, and on your timing chain there should be like a little indent on the timing chain. Should line up with another indent on the actual head. If these indent and the timing chain on the indent line up, and this doesn't line up on here, your timing's off. And that'll tell the spark, and that'll tell everything to not run properly. Like, it'll tell the spark to have spark when the pistons say not at top dead center. So it'll muck up all the firing. And that's why if you ever pull apart your pit bike, your head or something, and you don't time it right, like this, what happened with this, the timing was off. That's why they could not get it running. So it's sort of hard and also easy. You gotta pull apart the head. Gotta take this bit off. Don't take this bit off. Take this off. You spin the engine over until you get the 3 lines here. And then on the head, it's gonna be a pain in the bum. But I spent a couple of days doing it. You have to pull apart the whole engine. It's easier to take the whole engine out. That's what I did anyway. And I just bought this. They're like 10 or 12 bucks on eBay. Well, in Australia they are. Comes with head gasket, the side casing gaskets, all other sort of gaskets. Your engine. To be honest, it's cheaper than getting RTV in Australia. Because RTV, I just went and spent 25 bucks on at my local auto pro. Yeah, it's just a bit expensive here. So that's why I recommend just buying these. And this is all I bought. This is my second kit I bought. Just in case. 10, 12 bucks is all I spent on whole gaskets. No point just buying one head gasket because that's going to be like 5 bucks. For another 6 bucks, 6, 7 bucks, you can buy your own. As soon as you get the timing lined up, put this back on, you got to try and hold it so that it's like top dead center for the head. The easy way to do it, I found, is when you go to put the timing chain back on, it sort of doesn't matter. You just keep I know, so you got to try and put the timing chain, like the sprocket, on this chain where it's top dead center. So up here on the mark. Should be a mark or something there. On the actual thing to line up, because it took me a while to try and get it all lined up again, but that's what I did. As soon as you put that back on, you can then reuse your old head gasket just to see if it'll fire off. It'll only fire off for a couple of seconds because it's losing compression because using the old head gasket. But that's the cheapest way I did it. It's where I first off found out if motor would run. I put the old head gasket back on, re-put it all on, timed it back up, and it went for a couple of seconds. That's all it'll go for. It won't go for 5 minutes. It won't run at all. It only run for about maximum 5 seconds. As soon as you hear that, you know you got to replace your head gasket. You can reuse your old head gasket, but I would not recommend doing that. So your next step after you put your new head gasket on, pour fuel down the intake, and it should pop off. If it doesn't pop off, more or less likely you checked all your wiring loom, you've checked all your kill switches, you checked everything. If that's all right, your timing must be off by a bit. But it's sort of a pain, but as long as you don't RTV the head gasket on there, you're all good. If you do that, then it's going to be a pain. So if you just slap your head gasket in there without any sealant, it'll be a lot easier if you get your timing off by a bit. That's all I did. My old head gasket, it was RTV'd on there and that. It was a lot harder. So yeah, this is the bike at the minute. So first step is, whenever you get a pit bike, say if you got spark. Spark, you pour fuel down the carby, it pops off then, you know you got something wrong with the carby. And old fuel, if it's say a couple months old, it will not run in a pit bike. I'm telling you now, these things, they're so temperamental with the fuel. You have to have fresh fuel in them, otherwise they do not like to run properly. And yeah, if the carburetor's if the carburetor's in an angle and there's fuel coming out of this line here, you need to put your carby's back here, not the front here, and it's turned the other way, and there's fuel coming out of this line. Whenever you turn fuel on, you got to slap your carburetor in, because that's what I had trouble with. And after you know that runs, you can go spend the money on plastics, your fuel tank, everything you need to get it running. Like this shock, I had to go buy it all, but first off I sent in some engine run, which it did, and then it was all sweet. And no, this is not like a $500 build, this is just a cheapo build, so you can get it all together. So yeah, if you ever need help, just write down in the comments and I can help you with it. I might be able to somehow help you, but hopefully I do be able to help you, because I love doing this and I love helping people out. So I started a YouTube channel because I sort of do know what I'm doing and I sort of don't, so I should somehow be able to help someone. So yeah, that's it's turning over. Doesn't run at the minute because I don't have motorbike oil. I've just put even if you don't have motorbike oil, just mix, and you have a little bit of car oil, mix car oil and gear oil, and put it in your engine. Do not run it for more than 5 minutes. If you run it for more than 5 minutes, that's when you can blow your engine up. So yeah. It seems like a lot of work, which I thought it was, and it was. The engine to take out, you got to take 1, 2, them 2 out. But to take that out, you got to take the rear arm off. And then you got to take this off as well for the kickstand. So you're going to have to sit your bike on something somehow to get it off, because it's only 2 bolts to hold the whole engine in. Like this on my bike isn't even attached to the frame of it. But yeah. And these plastics are only 20 or 30 bucks on eBay, so I got them, and the seat was separate. Always check your parts before you order any more. So I ordered like 2 carburetors, and I didn't check the sizing of the carburetor, so I had to buy another one. Same with the front brake lever. I bought a 10mm one. 10mm bolt, which is this, goes into here. It's supposed to be an 8mm, but I bought two 10mm left and right brakes. Not really, I think it was an 8mm. And yeah, these things here, they're only $16 on eBay. If you want, I can link them all down in the description. Yeah, so the only thing I'm missing now is the clutch bit. And it should run, but yeah. My brother tried to ride without a clutch, but he wanted it. Yeah, also, if you ever need to bleed your brakes, pump your brakes 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Hold them in. And you crack that right there. And then you close it. You do that a couple times. And you might feel like, oh no, it's got, as soon as you tighten it back up and you go to pump it a few times. After you've done it like say 2 or 3 times, you pump it up and your brakes are all sweet then. You might feel, whenever you go out, you go think, oh, it's still got air in the line, you keep doing it heaps of times. But it's actually not, you just got to build up pressure again and it'll be all good. That's what I had trouble with. And I had someone help me out, but yeah. Like this, all I can help you with, if you got your engine won't run, you've timed it all, just send me something in the comments. I can probably even link, should be able to link some of my socials on there somehow. So you can send me a message or just send it in the comments and I'll be able to help you as easy as. Because like, yeah, I'm wanting to help people. Because you know YouTube, you look on YouTube and everyone's like, how to time a pit bike. This one's to help you do it all. Just send me a comment. Just send me something in the comments and I'll be able to help you. But yeah, free pit bike runs.